Hello and welcome to this video. We were continuing the second chapter of your history, that is from trade to territory, the company establishes power. In last video, we discussed that how the East India Company initially came to India in order to make trade and how gradually the company wanted more and more relaxation and compensation in order to maximize their profit. And there was a time when the company faces a huge loss because of the greediness of its own employee. In this video, we will discuss that how the trade led to battle in India between different kings of India and the Britisher. How did the trade led to battles? What happened that in last video we already discussed that there was a time when Aurangzeb granted a Farman. He issued a Farman granting duty-free trade to East India Company. But we also discussed that Aurangzeb was the last successful and powerful Mughal emperor. After the death of Aurangzeb, all those small kings who surrendered to the Mughal power and ruling their territory on behalf of Mughal power now wanted to restore their power, to restore their autonomy, to restore themselves as single ruler and not as the subordinate to the Mughal kings. So, after the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy. Now they declared themselves. The Bengal Nawabs started declaring themselves as free and autonomous ruler. Autonomous means who ruled themselves. No one controls them. The Nawabs of Bengal refused to grant the company concession as it was making the revenue from Bengal trade less profitable. Well, we all knew about the collection of revenue by the kings. We studied a lot about all these things from class 6th history itself. So, as Aurangzeb granted duty free trade to the company was not paying a single tax, and along with that, the company also bribed many Mughal officials to pass them, to grant them the jamindari rights of certain villages. So, after the death of Aurangzeb, when Bengal Nawab asserted their autonomy, they denied all these privileges to the East India Company because one, the company was not paying any tax, and second, the company was taking off the revenue of that area for its own benefit. So the Bengal Nawab refused all these privileges to the East India Company because granting of these privileges were making a loss for the Bengal Nawabs themselves. The British wanted the duties to be abolished, but Bengal Nawabs refused. The Britishers they wanted the same, like Aurangzeb granted them duty-free trade. They wanted the same thing from the Bengal Nawab, but as making their trade duty-free was losing the revenue collection of Bengal, the Nawabs refused all those things to the East India Company. And the British officials knew the condition of administration in Bengal and tried their autonomy by use of force. They knew that how the Bengal is getting ruled. They knew a lots of thing about Bengal. The British official they tried force in order to make the king agree to their demand. In that way, the Battle of Plassey happened. We will see how the Battle of Plassey happened, what's the reason behind that. Ali Burdi Khan, who was ruler of Bengal, he died in 1756. So, what happened that after asserting their autonomy, the Ali Burdi Khan was ruling the Bengal as ruler. But he died in 1756. After the death of Ali Burdi Khan, Sirajuddaulah became the king or the Nawab of Bengal. When Sirajuddaulah became the Bengal when Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab of Bengal, he denied all those privileges to the East India Company. And East India Company during that time wanted a puppet ruler, a ruler who would look like a ruler but would function according to the wish of the Britisher. But Sirajuddaulah was not like that. So what the British East India Company did, that they promised one of the rival of Sirajuddaulah that if he would help them, then they will make him the king or the Nawab of Bengal. When these things happened, when they tried to help the opposite of Sirajuddaulah, Sirajuddaulah got furious. When Sirajuddaulah got furious, he asked the company to stop meddling in the political affair. Sirajuddaulah got very angry in this step of East India Company, and he asked the company to stay away from the political matter. He said the company that the political affair is the personal affair of the Bengal. They need not to interfere in all these things. So Sirajuddaulah asked the company to stay away from the political affair of the Bengal and asked them to not to mediating in this matter, and also asked them to stop building fort. In last video we already discussed that when they set up their base near the Calcutta, they asked the merchant to get settled around it, and gradually they started building fort. So Sirajuddaulah also asked them to stop building fort and also to pay revenue, because the British East India Company was not paying any revenue to the Bengal, as well as collecting the revenue of some parts of Bengal for their own benefit. So Sirajuddaulah asked them first to not mediating in the political affair, second to stop building forts, and third to pay revenues. As a result of all these things, on 23rd June 1757, the Battle of Plassey was fought between Sirajuddaulah and the British East India Company. Robert Clive was leading the British East India Company's army against Sirajuddaulah at the Battle of Plassey. And the Battle of Plassey was the first major victory of English people in India. Sirajuddaulah lost the war and East India Company won the war. How the East India Company won the Battle of Plassey? The Sirajuddaullah's force was led by Mir Jafar, who was one of the commander of Sirajuddaulah. But Mir Jafar cheated Sirajuddaulah. He conspired with the East India Company or with the Robert Clive, and Robert Clive promised Mir Jafar that if he helped them to win the battle, then they will make Mir Jafar the next Nawab of Bengal. And by getting tempted with the offer, Mir Jafar cheated Sirajuddaulah, and he did not fought the war in an actual way. Because of that, Sirajuddaulah lost the battle, and the Battle of Plassey turns as a major first victory of the English in India. After the Battle of Plassey, when the East India Company won as per their promise, Robert Clive made Mir Jafar the Nawab of Bengal. Then the Mir Jafar remained as a puppet Nawab. He remained as a Nawab, but all the decisions were handled by the East India Company. Then the next battle was the Battle of Buxar, which again happened between the Nawab of Bengal and the East India Company. How? In 1764, long years after the Battle of Plassey, Mir Qasim became the Nawab of Bengal. When Mir Qasim became the Nawab of Bengal, he again denied all those privileges, all those benefits to the Britishers like Sirajuddaulah. When He abolished all those duties for everyone and transferred his capital from Murshidabad to Munger, but this was against the interest of British, and when his decisions were against the will of British, he did not remain as a puppet Nawab. The Britisher declared war, and the Battle of Buxar happened, which fought between Mir Qasim, who was the Nawab of Bengal, Sujaudullah, who was the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam, who was the Mughal king of that period. So, the Battle of Buxar fought between the Mir Qasim, Sujaudullah, and Shah Alam against the British East India Company, which was led by Hector Munro. Again, the Battle of Buxar was in the favor of English East India Company. The British, they won the war, and after that they controlled the Bengal territory according to their will. In 1765, the Mughal emperor appointed the company as the Diwan of the provinces of Bengal, and the work of Diwan is to collect Diwani. The revenue collected by Diwan were called Diwani. So, when the East India Company won the war by force, as the Mughal lost the war, the Mughal ruler had to transfer the Diwan of Bengal provinces to the Britisher. After getting the Diwan of Bengal provinces, because at that time the states were not like present day states, so the Bengal province of that time included Bihar, West Bengal, Bangladesh as well as Odisha. So such a vast area's revenue directly goes to the hand of the British, and by using that Diwani, the company started purchasing goods like cotton textiles, silk textiles, and spices. And as we already knew that they were taking all those things to their homeland and selling them at a higher price. But earlier they were purchasing all those things from Indian trader, but now they purchased all these things not from their money, rather from the money of Indian. Look at the situation. They were using the money of Indian for purchasing the goods. It means that they were getting the goods at free of cost, and they are taking them back to their homeland and selling them at a higher price, because all these things, the cotton textile, silk textile, and spices of India, had a great demand in the English market. Along with it, they also started maintaining army troops on the front of Indians, and at the same time they were using those money also to build the fort and offices of the English people. So gradually from trade to they got the free trade and indulge in battle, won it, and the situation turned so that they were now making trade with the money of Indian people, means they were investing zero money and earning a huge profit. That's all about this video. Thank you.